welcome to the Judi Fox Show, where we level up your business with heart and humor. This episode totally cracks me up because we are at Social Media Week, Lima, Ohio, in the green room, hanging out. I'm just going to jump right into it because this is like, I put my Zoom recorder in my purse and I just walked around the VIP speaker room, green room, whatever you want to call it. I walked around there and like we just were holding the mic, having a good time. I'm going to have to bleep out some F-bombs. I'm looking at you, Stephanie. And I cannot wait for you guys to hear this because I laughed so hard recording this. I don't even know. I don't even know how this is going to come out because it just cracks me up. All right. And there's a lot of love on this podcast for Angus Nelson. I will mention that. And I love that there's a lot of love for him because he had just spoken on stage and it was beyond moving. And so that is incredible. And one more thing I want to say about Social Media Week Lima. The energy, the environment, it was so filling to my heart and to my kind of energy bucket, if that's what I like to call like my soul and my heart, like that I have like a bucket of energy, or it either has like holes poked in the bottom when I'm truly exhausted and just stuff is just flowing through. The point is, this is like a deluge of water into your energy, heart, soul bucket. It filled me so much. It made me feel a part of a community. It was completely inspiring to be around so many amazing individuals. I had so many heart-to-heart conversations. I mean, I wish I would have recorded all of them, but I also wanted to like really have them without feeling like they have a mic in their face. So some of them are obviously private and off the record, but I had so many freaking heart-to-heart conversations. It blows my mind how just awesome the people were there. And it is, I hope it's a conference I can speak on stage at next year. Hint, hint, Jessica. And I'm applying. And yeah, it is craveable. That was the hashtag this year, hashtag craveable. And next year is hashtag unfiltered. Okay, now let's jump into it because like I said, it's awesome. There's so many moments. I'm just going to crack up laughing. All right, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And if you do enjoy it, can I ask you guys a favor? Can you pretty please leave a rating and review and subscribe to the podcast or somehow leave me a message because I love your feedback. Your feedback is helping me so much to keep this going. I need you guys. So thank you so much for anything that you guys can offer in that department. And welcome to the Judi Fox Show podcast from my purse. Okay. You got it. We are talking to the one and only Stephanie Lou. Let's call the room shaker. So how are you doing today? You were on stage yesterday here at Social Media Week, Lima, Ohio.
Yes.
I go into like, what, radio voice?
Hello. Yes. I was on the stage yesterday. No, that was weird.
And how'd it go?
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was absolutely outstanding.
You got people talking.
Yeah.
You got people wanting to take your quiz.
Oh my goodness.
Who are you?
Who are I?
How do you communicate?
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things too when people are so used to being behind the keyboard and that's their only means of communication or just texting, and it's not very often that they look into the eyes of another human being and have
like we are looking at each other.
Yeah, I'm like actually staring her in the eyes as I say this to her. I'm trying to make her swoon.
Oh, you don't have to make me.
Oh my God. What kind of podcast is this?
What happens in Lima stays in Lima.
Oh, this should be one of those audiograms. So we're like, and then we should just have the little heart emojis float, and then we'll have like the confused one, like, what kind of podcast is this?
This is the best podcast.
This is the Swoon-worthy podcast hosted by the one and only Judi Fox.
Yes.
Are we gonna keep doing this?
Yes, it's all good. Wait, tell us the 5. Wait, how many types of personalities are there? 4 things.
There's 4.
Okay, good. I was about to say 5.
Hey, yay! Oh my gosh.
We have visual. We have kinesthetic.
We have auditory, and we have digital.
Digital. Okay.
Yes.
Digital made me think that it was just people who looked at screens.
No, digital. Well, that's actually short for auditory digital. So auditory digital people are used to hearing their own voice track in their head because they're trying to make sense of what's happening, right? And so sometimes if you try to talk to them while they're thinking through something, they're like, "Wait, I can't even process that right now."
Oh, I thought everyone was like that.
I know, like we all hear our own talk tracks.
Yeah.
Digitals are more like if you're trying to convince them, it needs to make logical sense. There needs to be some type of formula for it to make sense. Whereas sometimes if you're kinesthetic, you just go off of impulse. Yeah, Mike Alton is just all impulse. He's like, I don't give a if they're doing a podcast. I'm going to go get a drink because next year is all about being unfiltered. And I was like,
Hashtag unfiltered.
so that means we're all not wearing makeup on stage next year.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag no beauty filter.
Oh. All right, I'm going to give the mic to Mike.
Yeah, give the mic to Mike. Hello, Mike Alton. Welcome to the Judi Fox Show, where we level up your business with heart and humor, and we're really leaning into the humor part right now.
Oh my God, I'm Mike Alton. How are you?
What? Did you hear that? That was Mike Alton.
Yeah, Mike Alton, your voice has changed slightly.
It has changed lately. Well, hello, Judi Fox.
Oh, that's the Mike Alton.
This
I
is
know.
my podcast voice.
Yeah, there you go. I'm adjusting the levels.
Bring the love.
Oh, so what do you want to tell an audience that you're not sure who's actually listening?
Either a lot of people are listening now or nobody's listening at this particular moment.
I hope we have not lost all of you.
Okay. Well, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sat down. I was roped into this conversation, so I'm not sure what we're speaking about other than, hey, I'm in Lima and I'm drinking a lot of coffee.
Any takeaways? Do you feel worthy from that last presentation?
Angus Nelson is amazing. Mm-hmm. I got to hear him speak here last year, and I was really glad to hear that he was coming back again because he's a preacher. He is a marketing and a business preacher.
I did. I felt like we were at church.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was really cool. He had the whole crowd standing and moved, and we are worthy.
Yeah, there was. I think there was some amens and some hallelujahs from the back. I think I heard that.
Yeah. All right. What else do you want to share about this conference?
Well,
you guys are sponsoring. And
we
you have
are.
like a photo booth, which I need to go over to.
Yeah, Goropals, who I work for, we're sponsoring this event. We're sponsoring virtually every social media day event around the world.
But this is week.
Month. This is social media week. Yeah, because Jessica couldn't do just one day, so she spread it out into an entire week. Yeah. But yeah, we're involved with everyone in some way or another. Here we're happening to do the photo booth. Yeah, so people are over there taking pictures with fun props and having fun.
Right. So what else? Anything else? Anything?
Well, these events are really interesting for me because I'm here to network and chat with speakers and deepen the relationships that I have with the influencers that are coming to these events. But it's also fun for me as a speaker and as an educator to connect with the attendees. Mm-hmm. So that's almost like bonus for me because that's not what I'm paid to do. Right? I'm paid to be here and deepen those relationships with the influencers that we work with at Agorapulse. But then people come up with me and they appreciate what I was able to share from the stage about content, and then they have more questions for me, which is really interesting and gratifying.
Yeah, because you've been blogging for a really long time.
Yes, it's true. I have blogged on occasion.
Yeah. But that's how I got started too, was blogging. So I think in blog style or how to create something that people, when they go to it online, they get some type of value out of it. And
Absolutely.
I think that having that blogger mentality is why I was able to go on LinkedIn and make an impact. So blogging, just if you need to just get started, start with blogging. I don't,
Yeah,
Everyone
well, one of the
wants
things I
to be
talk
on
about all the
social
time
media.
is that today it's really broadened to content. I talk about content creation, content marketing, content creators, and I talk less about blogging specifically because for some, it means something different, right? For people who've been around a little while, when they think blogging, they think, oh, I'm sharing what I'm doing in written form on a regular basis, or I'm writing about other people, that sort of thing, which that was historically blogging.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way by all means today.
I don't picture it that way.
No, and then there's other barriers in people's minds where I don't like to write, I'm not good at writing, which some of these things are true, but they're there in our minds. And so they're impediments, whereas some people would much rather talk, like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're creating content.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be written. You can turn this into written content, which is what I then spin it back at people. I said, you can start, I said this on stage, you can start with a Facebook Live. Or if live video scares you, do a recorded video. If recorded video scares you, talk into a microphone. Do what you need to do to create the content, and then worry about the format of it later.
Yeah. And what I do with the podcast is, of course, I put it out on all the channels that I put it out on, iTunes, Spotify, whatever, go down that rabbit hole. And then I'm so professional.
I do all the things with the other things.
Then I also put it on my website because to me, it reminds me of a blog post. I'm just blogging about this particular episode. It's just going down the Judi Fox Show podcast page, but that way it's housed on my website. So if people search and then we get a selfie, so then I put a picture and it's a story and it shows the behind the scenes and we're on the mics and we were actually in person together. Oh my God.
We're actually going to do it right now. We're going to do a selfie. Sorry, those of you listening.
So then it goes on my blog or my website. Yeah, we're taking a picture. That's perfect. That really happened.
It really
live
happened.
on the podcast.
First ever.
No, I'm
First
ready.
ever Mike and Judi
Okay,
selfie
yes,
on a podcast.
my first ever Mike and Judi selfie picture on a podcast. So sometimes with some of my guests, I play voice message roulette.
Okay.
And I actually will randomly play a voice message we've exchanged with each other. Have you ever sent me a voice message? Because
I don't know if I've
you a
sent
crap
you-
ton, probably. Oh my God.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I remember, in fact, one of the series of voice
not
messages
creepy.
you sent me. I was at a
game?
swimming pool thing, and I couldn't listen to them because it was so loud where we were at. It was one of those indoor swim park things.
You don't voice
And I'm
message
like,
me back.
Why is she voice messaging me? What is going on? I'm like, because I didn't know. I didn't know why.
Oh no. What did I say? So our first message exchange was January 31st at 7:37 a.m. Man, was that New Year's Eve? No, that's December 31st.
Meanwhile, in the Judi podcast, we're going to do a calendar lesson on which days of the year fall on which holidays.
I was just watching a TikTok video and it was talking about so this guy made this video talking about two people he interacted with online from Texas, and he was like, and he's in Australia, and he was telling them it was cold because they're headed into winter or they're already in winter, and the person in Texas said, well, wait, what month is it there? He said, we all share the same. What day is it? And he goes, we have the same. Well, how can it be in June and it's cold? It's warm here in the U.S. And he was like, oh my God, what are you learning over there?
Now, the what day is it question, that's legitimate depending on the time of the day here.
That's true.
Because they're so far ahead of us.
Yeah.
There. Like when I got to interview people, I've got ambassadors in Australia, like Jeff Bullis. And when I got to get on a call with Jeff, it's got to be like 5 o'clock in the morning for me just to catch him that same night. Otherwise, it's the next day.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, when you say TikTok, I think of the tick.
Oh, I hate ticks.
Not ticks, the
Oh.
spoon. Let's hang 10 for justice.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's a great cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
Yes.
I just think
Not the
of
bug,
ticks that
the
I
cartoon.
hate. I hate
Although
ticks.
the cartoon's based on the bug. So
Yeah.
there's that.
So, yeah. All I know is I freaked out on you about my ordering size, about my sweatshirt.
Yes.
I picked the right size, by the way.
Yes, that was an epic.
So, yeah,
epic
you did
voice
say,
message.
sorry, it's odd where I'm at. And, oh, my God, why the freaking hell are you sending me a voice message? He didn't actually say that.
That was in my head.
Yeah. I think we're good. Oh, my God, this is freaking me out. Ha, ha, ha. So what did I say?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
I
you gonna
must
play
have
it?
transitioned to British?
Yes. You should play that
What
one.
are these voice? I don't know which one.
Oh.
I don't remember which one.
Probably that one.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it would help if I had the sound on. On my phone, I turned it down so I'm not interrupting anyone's speeches. Okay, voice message roulette.
People. I love telling people how not to use social media. So yes, I'm on board. Whatever you're up to, I'm on board. Me and my Agora Pulse sweatshirt that I wear constantly every single day. It's like my morning outfit. It's my go-to sweatshirt. Anyways, until my Thinkific hoodie comes rolling in, I have to actually give them my address. So, you are awesome. I probably have something I need to respond to, but I'm going to look at this, how not to use social media, and see what I can offer, if there's any feedback or anything I can tell people. Because, oh my God, there's so much bad advice out there, and we got to get the good advice to be louder.
There you go.
And coincidentally, she's responding in that voice message to a request that I sent her to participate in a roundup, which she did not do.
Oh, crap. Wait, was that on New Year's Eve? No. Is that roundup over? Probably.
Yes, it publishes Monday.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judi.
Okay, Judi. I can't keep up.
No, I do understand. In all seriousness, I have been on both sides of creating collaborative, massive pieces of content like that, and it's time consuming for everybody. So I invited lots of people that I know, and I know going into it, not everybody will have time. Not everybody will have something that they want to say to that answer. Although you acted like you had a lot to say, so maybe we're going to revisit that topic.
Yeah, I need my own. I'm just kidding. My own article. Oh, man. See, that's the thing. I have to constantly give myself grace and peace online because I think I'm going to get back to something. And then I get home from whatever. I'm out at a client. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And then I leave a voice message, right? Or I say something and then I'm like, oh, I'll get back to that. That's why I need an executive
and we have
assistant.
Life. You have
a
kid. You have things that you have to
do
do
too.
outside of business. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do it all?
I don't.
Or
I don't. You can't.
There you go.
You can't do it all.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's all we got.
On that note.
On that note, you cannot do it all. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Voice Message Roulette. He has not left me one.
Not since. We haven't chatted since.
No, you've never left me a voice message.
No, yeah, no. That's
You're
not my
like,
thing.
no. And all you wrote back was, awesome. And I love how you transitioned to a British accent at the end. # do that all the time.
That's true. Y'all need to push her to do a British
what's this
accent
one?
all the time.
I think I switched to British when I think I'm going to get a little bit cheeky.
Oh, that's right.
Tell people what they don't want to hear. I've also got Virginia, and she is just
here we go.
sweet as pumpkin pudding on a cold, little chilly November evening. She's just the sweetest. A little sweet tea meets summer night. I don't know, but her...
I'm calling a team of psychiatrists right now.
Don't know what the freaking heck. So if anyone
just happened?
wants to enjoy my voice messages in their inbox, that's what I sent.
And we're still friends.
Yeah, I don't know how we made it this far. So we also have sitting with us. Anyone else want to be on this? All right. Woo!
Hot seat for Jeff Howell.
Yes.
Come on down.
Join the hot seat, Jeff.
I don't have the same radio voice that Mike does, but I will try.
We've not exchanged voice messages.
We haven't, and that would be awesome, but also creepy at the same time.
Do you have any?
We'll have Mrs. Doubtfire in my voice message box.
Hello.
Hello! I'm having hot flashes, and I don't even know why.
Oh. are you enjoying this conference?
I love Lima. I love Lima so much. This is my second year.
Lima?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Lima or Lima?
Okay, so Christine Gritmon said that says it was named after Lima, but everybody here says Lima. And when Damian Ross said Lima, a bunch of people corrected him and said it was Lima yesterday.
I'm
remember?
feeling Lima.
I'm just glad I'm here.
Let's go for it. How do you like your bobblehead?
It looks like me, which is cool. I mean, and I'm going to put it right next to, I've got a Buddy Christ bobblehead that my wife gave me for Father's Day one year. And then my kids bought me a Yoda bobblehead for Christmas one year. Buddy Christ, me, and Yoda. I think it's like the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
I think that's it. There's no other bobbleheads that are needed.
Plus, that goes along with Angus's speech, which was you be the Yoda and make all of your clients Luke Skywalker. Whoa.
And Angus killed it.
Yeah.
It really felt like it was in church, like you said earlier. Like
yeah.
It was just, we were going to have an altar call and people were going to get saved.
Amen.
And then, exactly. the choir was going to rise up out of the stage.
And so any feedback from your amazing talk? Anything you want to share? Anything?
Well, the cool thing about it was I used to speak quite a bit. And through just life kicking me in the balls, I just didn't do it for a long time, which really sucked.
Well, sometimes travel and all the things, you just don't. It was that? No.
No, it had nothing
He's
to do with
no,
that. It
Judi,
was just
no.
life was like, you know what? Here is a bunch of garbage that you're going to have to deal with and go through in your life, and it's going to suck. So here you go. The universe was not kind to me and my family for a while. And so me coming out to speak about... Oh, hey, Bella's going on stage.
Oh, yeah.
So we better wrap this up. So after a few years of just...
People are like running to go watch her.
Me coming back on stage.
Bella.
I know, Bella's soon. We better go. And there's Stephanie Rex. Steffi Rex. Oh, the Raptor? I'm so sorry. So me coming back on stage, I think was a big deal for me because it meant that I was taking that next step up the mountain again and going forward, which was awesome. So, mine was about just telling your story in a real, vulnerable, and authentic way because every brand has a story, and that story makes your brand more human, was the gist of it. And I really enjoyed it. I shared something very vulnerable and real about what happened to our life, my family's life. And I feel that connected with some people. A few people came up to me after the talk and said, how impactful and meaningful those stories were. The vulnerability that I shared sort of impacted them in a way that made them want to be more vulnerable and real in their own life. A couple women came up to me and said that they were in the process of writing a book and they stopped because they didn't think that they had the right to share such vulnerable content. And they are going to go back to it and finish writing it because of something I said encouraged them. So that's really cool.
That is really cool.
And if that's all that happens and I never speak on stage again, then that's great because that was just worth it. But I'd love to do more of that because there's more to share.
There is more to share, and we have to focus on expanding the positives that happen from those events or from those moments because, like you said, getting vulnerable and being open is not easy.
No, it's not, especially for a dude. We're taught not to do that. You hide your feelings and you don't talk about it. And how do you relate that to as a business owner? Getting your brand and your identity out there. It's just not something that regular guys do. Yeah. And I think that's got to change.
Well, I definitely know that in the corporate world for 20 years for myself, I was also taught not to do that because when you're in corporate, it's supposed to be compartmentalized. You come to work and you put all of that away and then you don't, It's like they don't even want to know that you have a family sometimes.
Well, and you know what was cool is besides Angus is awesome.
Yes. But
know-
we've talked enough about
We've talked
him.
enough
He's
about
walking
Angus.
by right now, waving awkwardly,
Bye.
confused why we're talking about him.
You know, the really cool part is we speakers did not collaborate at all before Lima. And yesterday, at least, and to some extent this morning, a lot of the things that we spoke about individually were in each other's presentations. There was a commonality
Yeah.
with all of our presentations.
Even the panels.
Yeah,
Like,
even in the
yeah.
panels too. So I just think that I think the universe is trying to tell us all something that
What is it? Just, what is
the anticipation.
What is the universe telling all of us?
And that's Judy's Fox's podcast for this episode. Come back next week for the answer to that question.
Isn't it 42? From the
That
Hitchhiker's
is,
Guide to the
always
Galaxy?
remember where your towel is. Oh, fellow nerd.
yeah.
Yay. That's amazing. This is called a tease for all of you who are wondering what we're doing.
Okay, tell us.
Okay, so I think the whole commonality is just that idea of being vulnerable and being willing to step out in faith and create that content that is meaningful and impactful. Everybody seemed to talk about that. The real, vulnerable, authentic message, personally and from a brand's perspective, was sort of woven in everybody's talk. Our culture is ready for a shift, I think. For so long, we've been afraid to be vulnerable and real because that it for some extent, for some reason, and that's got to change. And I think the universe is telling us that we're ready for that. That it's okay and we need to.
Well, and I think the hustle mentality doesn't leave space
No.
for vulnerability
No.
because it takes space and it takes bandwidth to process, to be able to healthily share vulnerability in
Yes.
a way that comes from not just like throwing up on people,
Right.
but
Right,
I don't
right.
mean to be so graphic,
No,
but there's a difference between finding this kind of inner peace and pull and calling and literally feeling that sense that it has to be out in the world.
Right.
And I feel like when I lean into those moments is I know that I was meant to share it versus just feeling like I threw up on the microphone or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a purpose behind the authenticity. I mean, there's a message, and as with all things, but
Yeah. Well, I just tell people that because some people really question, well, what is that? What is being vulnerable? So,
the emotional vomit is what a counselor's for.
yeah, that's true. Good.
Which everybody
Emotional
needs to have one.
vomit.
I have one, and I love it, and I'm having a session tomorrow, and I can't wait. Everybody needs to see
Okay,
somebody.
welcome to your session.
No, that's this is not reserved for that.
Your social media week Lima therapy session has now begun.
Do you take a scaling pay scale? Because I only have $80. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, obviously with all message and content, there's a purpose. There has to be a purpose behind it. But I think the way that it's presented is important, and being able to.
We're missing
I know,
some
we-
excitement
we
out there. I'll let
probably
you
should
go.
go.
Let's
Yeah.
pause this and we will go listen to
The Bella
Bella.
Vasta, who's on fire.
And then we will resume the Judi Fox Show.
Absolutely.
Hello, hello, hello. This one is number 4. You want to say hello?
Sure. Terry Duperon, hello. Nice to say hello.
Is this your first time here?
This is my first time here in Lima. I'm doing at 12:30. I'm doing small business social media group, and then I'm doing at 2:30. I'm doing a table talk.
You get
on
both?
sales channel strategies. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is awesome.
And you have a product
I do have a product.
called
It's called the Good Fat Bar.
Good Fat Bar.
Yeah,
That's a fun
it's
name.
an awesome bar.
And it must be full of good fat.
It is. It really is. Mostly organic raw cacao butter.
Huh. How do we get one of those?
Well, you can go to the website is goodfatcompany.com.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been quite the journey to create it. And so we've been through our own journey on the whole marketing and figuring things out, trying new things. We have an influencer, so that as a partner, which made a big difference for us.
And what is a major thing you have learned here at Social Media Week Lima?
There's a couple things. Tiffany did that of things you wouldn't normally get at a marketing conference, but she did that meditation yesterday that had you really connect with your customers, and I found that to be really valuable. And then Angus, he just knocked it off that was visceral. And then also reminding just about the heart, bringing our heart into our business. And it's not always easy to do because we get our hearts broken in business.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We do. And then we have to deal with that.
Or you get your heart broken in life in general, because we're not all going to be on this planet forever. We're all going to be dealing with something at some point.
Yeah, it's so true. Life and business both are challenging.
Well, and I don't think you can separate them.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think so either. It seems to be pretty infiltrated.
Yeah, I'm excited for more and more leaders and businesses everywhere to embrace not compartmentalizing as much and realizing we're humans, not just like social media behind the keyboard, which we hear all the time, but we're literally humans in cubicles. We're humans in all the different places. We're humans on the factory floor. We're humans wherever humans are. They're still freaking like living a life day to day. And I was at a panel the other day. They were running a coffee shop, and they were like, if their employee's having a moment or something, maybe they just got bad news. We can sometimes take up the slack for somebody else because you never know when something's going to happen to you. Telling your employee it's okay to take a 5-10 minutes, whatever you need to do to collect yourself. I'm sorry, whatever's going on. You do still run a business, but to step in as the owner and say, I'll ring up the customers, I'll do something, you take a minute. It's like just kindness.
Yeah, I think they're a company out of Ohio. There was, and they were what most people would consider a very boring company. They're cleaning, so they're a cleaning company. Businesses.
I like to say that their superpowers are super boring.
Yeah, super boring. So, and it's a job that a lot of people would not want to have. And their turnover rate was like 400%.
Oh, wow.
They created a dream team for their employees in corporate executive office. And now their turnover rate is like in the teens.
Oh my gosh. That
and they
sounds
just
really
connect
cool.
with them so deeply, and they've created a fund for their employees.
Really
It's really
cool.
inspiring to see that and read that, and it'd be great for more and more of that.
Nice. Any other thoughts? The other thing that you were saying, which I agree when you were talking about the meditation that Tiffany was mentioning and stuff you don't normally get at other conferences.
Yeah.
I also noticed with this conference that so many people are being more vulnerable on stage and just saying some things that you don't normally hear. The deepness in what they're sharing behind the scenes, or I don't normally hear that at other conferences.
It's been so refreshing to hear that. And as someone, I struggle with anxiety myself, and hear other people talking about anxiety and depression and other things. But it's the real things that we deal with to even run our businesses. We have to deal with these life situations, and it's so refreshing to have other really influential speakers and trainers and people in the industry talking so openly.
Mm-hmm. I think it will help us all hold space for each other.
Yeah, I like
especially when you were sitting here for the earlier conversation with Mike Alton. I responded to a message, but I didn't join his campaign because we can't do all the things, and we want to, but we just can. And sometimes I do have to put my clients first before I put fun projects.
Right.
Fun projects are awesome, and getting your name out there and doing all the things, but clients have to come first.
Yeah.
Just like your product and your quality of your product and all the manufacturing and making and doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the fun projects to get your name out there is important, but you have to balance probably, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a balancing act.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people talk about learning how to say no, but I've tried to switch it up and say, I think it's learning how to say hell yes. So the inbound opportunities or requests or join this, sometimes it has to just be a full-on hell yes. Like, I can't imagine not doing it.
Yeah.
Versus I have to constantly think about how to say no. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes a lot of sense.
It has a more
I can relate
positive
to that.
energy.
Much more positive. And you can politely say no when it's right for you to say no.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different,
I just wish I could do everything.
Attitude.
Why can't we do everything?
Yeah.
Why? So we don't want to miss Chipotle. That is what's
That's
coming in
true.
for lunch.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
we
line
want
yesterday
Chipotle.
was insane. So
It was.
Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We are walking and talking. We are officially recording.
Okay. Is this actually recording?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we can literally walk and talk.
Nice.
Do a moving, walking talk show while you're. Oh, what app are you on?
I'm on Facebook right now.
Ooh, you're really good at posting. How are you? Okay, first of all, who am I speaking to? Announce yourself.
I am Christine Gritmon of Christine Gritmon Inc., social media for small businesses in beautiful Nyack, New York.
And I was just about to say, I am impressed by people who can post and be at events and do all the things. I don't know how you do it.
I try to be present and also be documenting.
How? How do you do it?
I sort of split my brain. And some people can't do that. Like at first I like being like, well, I'm a mom, but that doesn't mean anything because my husband can't do it. And he's a very full parent. And he just, if he's on his phone, he's not here.
Yeah, that's why. So maybe that's why I can do the Instagram stories. I can do all this stuff. But when I think about making a post,
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just feels harder.
Occasionally I will have to say to someone, I'll be like, wait, stop talking to me. I can't word in my brain. But
Let's move this
it
way.
varies.
Hello. We're podcasting on the go.
We're not just pretending with like
setup.
airbrush
I
mics.
want to get this setup. This is the setup we were going to get.
It's fancy pants.
Christine, make sure you plug Social Media Day New York City 2020.
Wait, Social Media Day New York City?
Social Media Day New York City
What's
2020.
that, George Demanis?
Well, that's
It's in June of 2020, so you have time to prepare.
I like that.
You'll like it even more when you're in New York City in June 2020 for Social Media Day New York City.
That's a lot of plugging.
That's what she said.
This is gonna go downhill so fast.
That's
No, we're
also
gonna keep
what
it going
she said.
uphill. We're gonna keep going. Okay, well,
She's saying a lot of things.
I don't. Wait,
Hey guys, I'm George Demanis.
He's a person who's the co-planner for Social Media Day New York City in June 2020.
In June 2020 that I
Yep,
keep hearing about.
yep.
Do you have a specific date, by the way?
I would love to do it on June 30th. George is not so sure about that, and we don't have a venue yet anyway, so we'll figure it out.
Oh, wait, we forgot about Cookie Monster.
Oh
have
my
to get
God.
Cookie Monster.
That was the best moment of last night.
Hello, Judi Fox.
A personalized message from Cookie Monster.
Judi Fox. Me heard your son, big fan of Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster says, "Hello, Isaac. Me hope you like Cookie as much as Cookie Monster. Num 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 num."
And this is what it's like podcasting in the VIP room.
It
of
sure
a social
is.
media conference.
I mean, Cookie Monster is quite the VIP.
And talking.
Walking
Who
and
else do we
talking.
want to?
This is my exercise for the week. Actually, dancing my off last night was my exercise for the week.
Oh, yeah. Yes, and we sang together last night.
We rapped together
This
last
is
night.
quality content, by the way.
Yeah. We were so fancy. Ooh,
Taking
selfies
a
are happening.
So
But
what
first,
are we,
let me take a selfie.
Fancy by Iggy Azalea. I'm so
Ah,
fancy.
GGY. Who that? Who that?
Who dat? Who dat? All right. So any major takeaways from this event? Not last night, but you can have one from last night too. That Judi can hit a booty and dance.
Oh my goodness. What takeaways do I have? So I will admit that I am tired today and have been hanging out in the speaker room most of today, day 2. So I feel bad because there have been some amazeballs speakers who are incredible and who I heard from the stage just ripping it up. And I didn't go see them speak because I'm
But
just
you
not
did
in it
see
today.
The panel that I was on yesterday.
I did see the panel that you were on, at least some
and
of
I
it.
saw the panel that you were on.
Oh, that panel?
Yeah.
The panel about the harsh truths of
Yes.
content marketing,
Yes.
which wound up turning into sort of a We Love Video panel.
Oh, I know that is
'Cause
true.
we
It
do
did
love
turn
video.
into that.
Well, we do love video, though I should get into podcasting.
So what is one harsh truth of content marketing?
You need to get your face out there, or at least some element of your personality you can't hide. Because if you hide, you're gonna lose. Wait! He does Kermit too. What?
Hi ho there, this is Kermit the Frog. Judi Fox, you have the best podcast. I may be wearing blue on the outside, but I promise you inside, it's all green. Someday you'll find it
the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Yay!
This is awesome. Oh my god. Now,
Did I mention Kermit will be
Now, one
coming
more-
to
oh,
Social
wait,
Media
are
Day
you-
in New York
did you
City
make
in
a
June
request?
2020?
Oh.
What's this microphone's precious? What's this? We wants the precious. The precious. Brian Fanzo. We wants the Fanzo.
All right, now
Give
I
it
have
to
one
us.
critical question.
What's up?
What does the fox say?
Hutty, hutty.
Chad!
The fox says Chad. It's going to be interesting to edit. It's kind of going to be all filler, no killer. Anyone who hasn't heard that song before is going to be like, the fuck?
podcast? Do you want to be a part of this fun?
It's gonna be a great podcast. I'm Tiffany Lanier.
Great is a word.
It's gonna be great, and I get to just be here with all these very fun, amazing people.
Fun
And
is a
Kermit.
word.
And Kermit.
Okay, Kermit.
I really appreciated one of my highlights from this. Was actually your moment, Tiffany, where you had us all meditate for a moment.
you.
It was really nice.
Tell us more about that.
So I said I'm Tiffany Lanier from livewithtiffany.com. And sure, I'm just taking over. I'm officially taking over. I did a talk yesterday on utilizing emotional and social intelligence to create authentic content. And one of the pieces in my talk was having everyone do Tonglen, which is a Tibetan Buddhist practice of sending and receiving so that you can have more empathy and compassion. And so I sent them on this epic journey to connect to their audience, their ideal clients, and really feel empathy.
Why don't you guide Judy's listeners through it?
Okay, let's see. Let's sit down.
Okay.
Then maybe I can take
getting
you on
serious now.
on this journey of Tonglen.
We don't have to go super serious into this.
Okay, I can just maybe guide
Like
you
here,
in the
we'll
sense
lean
of what
against
it is.
this. Yes. Why don't we just?
Yeah, instead of taking you through the actual
Yes.
journey of it, but you can get a better
Give
sense
us the highlights,
of like
and
what
you don't
it
have to
is
take
and-
the journey.
Okay.
Because they could be driving, and we don't
yeah,
want them
we
to
don't
close
want
their
you
eyes.
doing any
or-
of that while you are driving. Primarily, the practice is about allowing yourself to truly connect to someone. It could be anyone. In the case of yesterday, it was, at a marketing conference, we were talking a lot about connecting to your audience, your ideal audience, who they are, and really knowing them. Because oftentimes, as strategists, or we try to strategize our way into everything, so we're constantly thinking, right? We're thinking. We write things down. What does this person think? What do they feel? How are they? But rarely do we actually connect. And so Tonglen creates this really unique opportunity to quite literally see this person in your mind's eye and give them a story, give them a face, give them a personality, understand their pain, their frustration, their angst, all the things that you're here to solve a problem for. And so you breathe in that frustration and pain that this person might be going through, which seems maybe sometimes a little counterintuitive. You're like, I'm going to literally take on this person's pain, but that's where the compassion and the empathy comes from, like really understanding who they are, their story, why it matters and why it matters to you. And then so that's on the inhale that you're breathing in, and on the exhale, you're sending them, love, peace, patience. In the case of yesterday, we sent them the solution that each of the attendees had for their particular ideal avatar. What was it that they were providing, but going really deep. So not just the product or the service, but really that benefit that they receive from the solution that they have to offer.
That is so beautiful. And yes, I can see why going through that exercise, it's just opening us all up to feeling more, and the more connectedness we all have on this planet, the healthier everyone is, and the healthier our businesses are, and the healthier our relationships are.
Yeah. So that's a huge part of what I spend my time doing, is getting people out of their head and back into their body, back into their feelings. A lot of the time we don't think feelings and emotions has a place in business, right? It's just business. But we're in the business
it's
of
full
people.
of emotion.
Yeah, we're as entrepreneurs, as those are constantly creating, we're constantly emotional. I mean, we stay on an emotional roller coaster of sorts, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Like, as you're working and trying to put yourself out there, it's an emotional journey, and something that we have to realize is that we are dealing with other humans who are just like us, who feel, who want connection, who crave
I was about
connection.
to literally say, like,
Yes.
literally the pain that we experience on this earth is lack of connection. I love Rachel Bell's voice when she shared the other day. I don't know if you know who she is, but the point is she was sharing that she outcares her competition.
Yeah.
And that's basically all her business model is. And I was like, that's all you need
Yeah.
some days
Yeah.
is if you can outcare for yourself and care for others. And caring for others, sometimes I have to remind people, and I'm sure you would say this, but it's also caring is still having healthy boundaries.
Of course.
I think a lot of women, I don't know about you, but like feel like we have to, that caring could be giving so much of ourselves, but actually caring is
I'm a firm believer in self-care.
Yeah,
and,
but
and holding
putting
space for yourself as well as others. And like you said, those boundaries of
because everyone might want to pick your brain or everyone. But I told somebody the other day, I said, the way I can serve you and everyone else the highest is to charge you. You'll get the best of me.
right.
And you'll get what I
Yeah,
can
that's a
deliver.
whole nother conversation that we.
Okay, fine. We are not going there.
We might have to like do another take on that because I have a lot to say
That's
about
huge. Yeah.
about charging and not charging and the energy that's
Yes.
reciprocated.
Well,
when
an
you're
exchange of
doing
money
that.
is energy and time and value of how they
Yeah, because
value.
you really
and-
don't. When you, I guess, cheapen your ability to show up, you start feeling resentful. And nobody wants to be in a resentful relationship. And so, like, honoring your talent, your skills, your ability, I think is really important. And it's also important to teach people, show people that, you know, they too are going to be in this situation of needing to charge in order to, you know, pay their bills. And everyone has to be able to do that.
That's actually, I don't know why I haven't heard that more often where somebody says, wait, I'm going to be turning around and coaching you how to charge and how to, or whatever I'm coaching or training or teaching to level you up that you have to pay for. That is a service, and you're now going to level up your business so you can provide a service you can charge for. So I don't understand the mentality of why people want something for free all the time.
You know, people get away with what they think they can.
And you either accept or put the boundaries up.
Yep.
And that's why when I say outcare the competition, sometimes your clients actually get better results and they take more action when they have more skin in the game.
Of course.
When they actually put dollars behind their mouths and their words and what they're going to do and say.
Maybe this was like in 2015. And at that time, I was probably charging like, I don't know, $1,000 to $1,200 a month for like coaching clients. And I remember there were several people who like just felt like they couldn't pay that amount. And I wanted to really help, and I felt like bad, and I was like, how can I like finagle this and like take away and like figure it out? And I remember charging like, I don't know, $300 or something where they could talk to me for X amount of time, and none of them showed up. Like, so they still had to pay, so it wasn't free, but they still didn't do the work. Like, they still didn't show up for like their sessions. They didn't participate. They didn't, you know, do their home, like, so like they weren't nearly as invested as the people who paid me whatever my full rate was. And that taught me a very valuable lesson back then, that if you want to be able to serve the way that you need to and really provide that kind of value, then you got to charge not only your worth, but what you need to charge. Like, there's a lot that goes into that. Again, another conversation.
God. This is a deep conversation happening
but
here.
Also,
wait, are you here all night?
I am here all night. We can talk all day.
No, really, are you staying tonight?
No, I'm not. I leave in like an hour.
Where are you headed?
South Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in South Florida. But
that sounds really nice.
Just to kind of wrap that up, it's, you know, the people who feel like they can kind of get one over on you, they're really getting one over on themselves, and they're not nearly as committed. And so it's not personal all the time, but it is psychological for everybody that's involved. So I would just say, you know, charge what you need to charge.
Yeah, no,
not even your worth, but charge what you need to charge, and have people respect you for that, and say, unfortunately, if you can't do this right now, like, let me know next month, or a couple months from now when you can.
Exactly. Or if you do have a payment plan. Sometimes people do put payment plans together, and that does work. So
I'm like, we got so far off the tongue.
That is okay.
We came somewhere else, but that's okay.
That's how this rolls. So the tagline of my podcast, which you don't even know, is level up your business with heart and humor.
Okay.
So it's all about bringing heart and humor back into business conversations.
Awesome.
So I think we're rocking that.
I think we
and
we
the
brought
Cookie
all of
Monster
that.
and all the things that have happened. This
You
is
have
going to
all
be the
heart
craziest
and
podcast.
all the humor. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yay, we're doing a hug and we're going to do a selfie.
I know.
How long are your podcasts usually?
The longest one is 78 minutes.
Wow.
We might have to have a part
This is
one
a
and a
podcast
part
that
two.
doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend.
They keep on talking, and it doesn't.
And it never ends.
Oh, God.
This podcast is a beginning and it never has an end.
This is
a
the
podcast never
ends.
Never ends. We're podcasting with Judi Fox somehow.
We are now introducing Jennifer Weather.
Oh my God, it is Jennifer Weather. I bring the storm wherever I go.
You are the storm.
So we shared the stage yesterday. It was incredible.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Actually, we had probably like an incredible conversation just about live video and how to build community, humanizing your brand, building trust, so many important things that you need to incorporate in your social media strategy.
And I am still blown away by 4 lives, 10 minutes every day for a year. 4 lives.
No,
That's
it was intense.
Yeah.
It was really intense. But
4 lives per day? I'm still like blown.
Well, no, it was kind of crazy. We actually have brought on a separate person just for that.
Wow.
To help with the strategy, because with everything else going on, different marketing initiatives, severe weather, but that still had to go on. So it was kind of crazy. But during, severe weather, hurricanes, it made it a little bit easier because we could have our, on-camera meteorologists in the field could do our lives for us. But
Oh, yeah.
we learned a lot, though. And we learned that, I'm a perfectionist, but you can't wait for perfection. It's just do it. And raw and real people like that. And just making sure there's a balance between what you want to say and also answering questions.
Ooh,
'cause that was a
Angus is
struggle.
about to leave, and I'm going to interrupt for 1
Oh
second.
my God, pull
We're
Angus
just going to
in.
get your voice on this podcast for 1 second.
Angus, we want to hear your voice.
Said amazing things about your speech. You are on a podcast right now. Just say hello. Hi.
Hi.
Pretty much it. Okay.
So,
All right. Moving on.
But he's leaving. How can he leave us?
Because I have family kids, but if you want to ask me a quick question, I can answer it.
Oh, well, what has been some of the feedback you've gotten from your talk today?
All really good, all really positive. But one thing I learned from one of my former colleagues is you don't ever listen to the good or the bad. The critics are within, and our critics are usually negative. So if we can reverse our internal critics and make those positive, then it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
You did talk about mindset on that stage. That was awesome. You're the Crazy Nelsons.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thosecrazynelsons.com is our family travel blog. And then my business stuff, I do business coaching and life coaching for mainly men. That's what I'm focused on. And then I also work in business marketing. That's kind of my day job with goldenspiralmarketing.com.
This is so exciting. We caught you right on the way out. It was live action happening as we speak. He's literally holding his bags.
I literally am holding everything I need to get out the door. Absolutely.
Including your bobblehead.
Oh, yeah, I love it. All right. Well, thank you.
It's so great to meet you. Thanks for everything. Okay, hugs. And you
A
can't see
picture?
that,
Do we have a
but
picture?
we don't. But we should get a picture.
Oh, picture.
And we're doing this on the podcast, so
Oh,
this is
yeah.
like
This is
real
meta.
time.
Go with her really quick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why
There's
we're
so
whispering.
much going on.
I
I know,
know.
because we're working
This
while
is
going to
how
a conference.
It happens in the VIP room.
I wish people could be in the VIP room because literally we have 2 big circles of chairs and we're all like creating content, working, brainstorming. It's pretty incredible, actually.
I will record a quick video.
Do it. I mean, we're just collaborating with each other. We don't see each other that often. So it's so exciting, like actually, being with each other, yet having to work at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Which is so crazy. Yeah. But no, our panel was it was awesome. And it's one of those things with live video, you want to make sure that you provide a unique and exclusive experience because there's so much content out there. Brian Fanzo always preaches, they say content is king. It's not content is king. Good content or great content is king. And you want to separate yourself from the others. And so something that I've preached for like the past 3 years is you want to immerse yourselves, or you want people to immerse themselves in your brand, give them a unique experience that allows them to have a two-way conversation. And so it's something that they can't get anywhere else. And so while working at the Weather Channel, what was really cool about that was, there are a couple other weather networks around, but, it's no one else is going to get, the exclusive access that we do, when they evacuations and everything like that. And we're providing life-saving information. And so it's one of those things where we provided education, life-saving information. And then when, weather was good, we had a little fun. We, do lives about barbecuing in the backyard and, best tips for that. And, how weather impacts golf or, different sporting events.
Yeah.
So, but just making sure that you stand out because, when you're thumbing through, you've got seconds to get someone's attention. And so it's all about, making sure, you provide that unique content.
And making it craveable to come back to again.
Yes,
Hashtag craveable.
You want people to be like, wait, what? That's so cool. I want to,
Yeah, because they'll watch more either on that session or they will come back next time they see a video go up.
Yeah. And a great example that I mentioned was Depict Media out of Wichita, Kansas. Jen and Julie, they do Facebook Live every Friday. And the live doesn't have to be about necessarily your brand like you want to, but you can also do one. They do it about their community. And we're all, in the business of building trust and community. And so they highlight a person or a company within their town that's doing something great and awesome. So the Facebook Live isn't about them, but it's about their community. And that just grows their community and helps build their fans, turn them into
Jen and
super
Julie
fans.
right over there?
Yeah, Jen and Julie are right here. They're actually working right now. I think they're doing a live Twitter chat.
Darn it.
So, but otherwise we'd yell at them and like pull them over. But yeah, I think Jen, are you doing a Twitter chat right now? Jen Cole? Yeah, she's
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so they found that very successful. And so
a Twitter, the Friday
of the Friday Facebook Live.
Yeah. For a second I was like, what, the Twitter chat? I can't even talk.
And people need to remember that social media is always changing, and so even the big brands, like we're all like testing when there's a new feature released on a social channel, we're all testing it out at the same time. Nobody knows any better than anybody else. We're just finding what works. So you just have to start doing it. Dive in and,
testing and experimenting is so important.
Yeah. And we did that a lot at the Weather Channel. And it's funny because, sometimes we do studio lives, sometimes we would do lives in the field, and we found the raw and real is what really resonated with people, which makes sense though, because they want to see like raw and real. They don't want to see, something that's so polished that just looks like TV. Yeah, I know. Stephanie, I love you. I know. Pay attention to your guest.
I totally am. I swear.
She is. It's a good thing this is being edited because,
Lightly edited.
Which is actually, this is going to be like the best podcast ever.
It's going to be interesting. We've already played a game called Voice Message Roulette. We have not exchanged voice messages, so
stop.
Yeah, that's a fun game, by the way. I did it on Mike Alton.
Voice Message Roulette.
He's not left me a voice message though.
Oh, I want a voice message from Mike.
My goal is to get one.
I know, so much going on. You know what's so crazy is like I feel like we're all juggling. So many things. Every business is. You're juggling social media, and a really good tool that works.
Oh my gosh, what are you going to say that works?
Well, Agorapulse.
That is awesome.
It's an all-in-one social tool for listening, analytics, reporting. Makes everything so easy, and you can publish directly. You can even publish Instagram stories from it.
Wait. You can publish directly from Agorapulse Instagram stories without having to then send it to your phone.
Yes.
It
sends you a push notification. It's amazing.
It sends you a push notification to your phone.
Yes.
Oh, you still have to publish from your phone.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay,
But
just
still,
checking.
but there's an easier. But you can do it all kind of through the Agora Pulse. So
I'm
it's-
just checking
Yes.
because you know how Instagram is.
Yes, and we offer a 28-day free trial, which is amazing.
Yay.
So, but it's just one of those things that helps you, like, with your executives, improving your, ROI, KPIs, all of that stuff. Because, for a while, manager was just like, should we hire someone? Because we don't know, like, is it really social media really beneficial? Well, it is. It's huge. And if you're not doing anything on social, that's a problem.
Yes.
So, and then just another thing is make sure you find your audience and know where your audience is. I think everyone feels like they have to be on every social channel, and that's not the case, because if you spread yourself too thin, you don't have thinking really creatively on the content for each individual piece, then, it's not going to work. And someone recently said, think of every social channel as an individual country that has its own culture, has its own rules. Some stuff may work on multiple social channels and some won't. So you got to keep that in mind, but don't feel stressed that you have to be on all the social channels. Just make sure whatever social channels you're on, you produce great content, and the social channels you want to be on is where your audience is.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you do social audits, I would say, like once or twice a year, just to make sure, you're doing everything the way you want to.
Agree, because if somebody shows up to one of your social channels and it's a ghost town and
Yes.
it looks really crappy,
Yes.
they won't be impressed, even though you're amazing over on Instagram or you're amazing on LinkedIn. But they go to Twitter for some reason and they find out that you've left it like an abandoned ghost town.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's happened in the past before.
Yeah.
Even at other companies I've worked at. So it's just, you got to be smart. And
The consumer is so much more savvy, and everyone can just click at a button. And if we don't think that they are, then we're wrong. They
Yes,
are. I am.
yes.
I know you are. We all are.
yes,
So, yeah.
yes, 1,000%. Judy, you're amazing and you're awesome.
Oh, you're
I love
amazing
you,
and awesome.
Judy.
Go, go, go. I don't know what's next.
Look at this. She's got her Michael Kors bag with all of her gear, and she's on the go.
I am on the go podcasting.
Yay.
I'm getting some good arm workout right here.
You need to switch it over.
So, what do you think of the conference so far? Wait, how many? You've been here a
My
bunch
second.
of time. Okay.
My second, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I heard about it 3 years ago. I originally saw that Kramer and Fanzo and a bunch of people were going to what I thought was Lima, Peru. I was like, I want to go.
Awesome. I had the same kind of
Did you?
initial moment.
Yeah, like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I want to go to that. And then they're like, it's Lima, Ohio. I'm like, I still want to go.
I was excited to come too.
Yes. Yeah. So I was just looking at the picture showed up on Facebook today of the memories from last year, which is great. And it's so funny. Like the speaker dinner was like about 8 or 10 of us and really small groups. And now it's fun to see it grow. And then all the additional people.
Even
'cause-
just from last year to this year? Wow.
yeah, it's
that's
because she
exciting.
added in these cool tables and a lot more of the panels too, like the
Yeah.
one that you were on too. So it really bumped up the number of speakers. But what's cool? We still all got baubles. This time we got caricatures. You got a caricature, Charlie, right? Yes. So she still ups the level even with the more speakers that she has.
These baubles are incredible.
Wait till you start posting them around the internet and watch people go ape crazy and how cool you are because you have your own bauble.
This is craveable.
It is craveable.
Super craveable. So we also have an awesome friend in common. We have to shout him out. Shannon
Brahimi,
Hernandez. Yes.
Shannon. This is how I talk to Shannon. And of course, he works for the radio station. Then he's podcast master. He's helped Bella. I know you've known him for a while too.
Yeah.
So he's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, the first phone call I did with him, I was like, okay, I'll get on this like connection call with him because I'm on LinkedIn and that's how we met.
Oh, cool.
And it's interesting because you don't know sometimes who you're connecting with.
Mm-hmm.
And then the moment we started talking, I was like, oh, he's a legit like good person.
Yep.
And you just like we
So
just clicked.
personable,
So, yeah.
so heart centered, and super
Yes.
fun, super smart. And then it's funny to go to Phoenix and see what a celebrity he is.
Oh,
Like, have you
wow.
seen his live streams? He does these live
Then
streams.
I need to go to Phoenix.
You do. Well, he does the live streams for the radio station, and then he'll play guitar. He's a great guitarist as well.
wow, yeah.
And then people just streaming on there because they've seen him be for KUPD. He's been a DJ for years.
Yeah.
So he's got that alter ego.
Oh my gosh. So I had to mention, we have a major
what's happening?
photo happening here.
Yeah. We just missed
we
it.
missed it. But it would have been hard to get in on that.
Would have been
And
the
I
tops of
did,
our heads.
And unfortunately, I jumped in on a photo the other day.
And it was somewhat embarrassing because it was supposed to be a team photo, and I didn't know that. So I really photobombed a team photo. And
Sorry, not sorry.
anything else you want to share about this amazing conference?
Yeah, you know what was great was that
Don't
was
whisper,
a new.
talk louder.
Yeah, that
Okay,
well
I
because I
started
didn't know if they were
whispering.
doing something over
no,
there.
Then let's move
That was
over
a
little.
new. That was a new talk for me. So that was super fun. I took some pieces from other ones, but was really inspired to get people on board as far as building their personal brand and encouraging them to build their personal brand. And then I felt like that's going to help other people, I call it transact well with one another, because they're heart-centered and they've got a good idea of what they're about. BK, that was a new talk for him as well. No slides. Did you catch that, Brian Kramer?
Oh,
He had no slides at all, so that was from the heart. I know that Tiffany did a newish talk. Fanzo moved his talk around a little bit, so it was kind of cool to see a lot of speakers feel comfortable to be in with this group to say, I want to try out some new material on you that I feel really confident about. So that's neat.
No, there's a lot of powerful, moving messages.
Yep.
And it's being shared, like you said, in a heart-centered way.
Mhm.
That's different
Yeah.
than what I see in some other conferences.
I'm just gonna say I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where's your next thing? What's up next? What's
I
happening?
am taking a break for a little bit. I've just been traveling a ton. Yes, I'm going to hunker down. Like I said in my talk, I said, always do your best.
And
so
where
you're,
do you hunker down at?
Oh, in Denver, Colorado.
Yes, I love it there.
Yep,
Yeah,
been
we
traveling a
talked
ton.
about that.
Yes, been traveling a ton. I just did a promotion for Visit Tahoe and Carson Valley, Nevada. So it's gone for a week. Put this talk together, travel. So I'm going to hunker down and not do a lot.
You are me on the go.
And I've been
That
very
kind
much
of
that.
brands
He
you
kind of
as
brands me a
being
lot.
on the go.
Totally. And then going to South Africa in November for a big promotional trip. So that's my big bucket list, get out of the country, fly 24 hours kind of trip. So
Holy
yeah,
crap,
I'm
that's
excited.
awesome.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm going to be sharing it out. Judi Fox, ladies and gentlemen. Judi Fox.
Is that Mia Voss?
Yes. Introduce yourself. Who am I talking to now?
Is that your radio voice?
Yes.
You have a radio voice? That's
5
terrible.
minutes.
I like the mics coming out of your purse. They're probably not even connected to anything, and I'm not even talking. Hey, everyone. My name's Damian Ross. This is my radio voice. How you ladies doing? I'm going to assume that a lot of your listeners are ladies, and this voice is going to make your podcast go crazy.
I don't have any idea.
Just so you know, ladies, I have a face for radio, so this is working out perfect.
All right. So what are you doing here? How long? How many times have you been to this conference?
This is my second time.
Okay, that's what Mia just said.
Yeah. It's me and Mia. We were rolling, and it was not a lot smaller, but it seemed like from a speaker standpoint, it was a little smaller, little tighter community. It was really grown in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like to have an event this far out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
like where a train is an actual option to get here, is pretty intense. They start, you ask someone where an Uber is, and they're, what's Uber?
But
That's
they have
interesting.
Lyft now.
Yeah, I know.
Like
but-
one, I think.
That's one guy. It's an amazing event. If you need to attend a social media kind of event, I always talk about, like, I used to work for the largest social media event in the world.
Oh.
And I'd always tell people,
Which one is that?
social media marketing world.
Okay.
And I would always tell people, go to a small local event first. If you're only going to go to one
Mhm.
event, and if you're going to go to two, then come out to the big boy and have a good time. But
Yeah.
I think staying local, learning from people that are in your community, networking. That's the one thing. You go to these big, giant events that are like, cross country.
Yeah.
It's not that like really being able to connect afterwards sometimes, even though we are all social. So
Mhm.
doing it locally and then being able to like still connect and have that kind of in real life relationships. I know it's scary for people.
Yeah.
Everybody likes that little veil of a computer screen to stay away from people, but it's awesome. I love it.
Well, I was going to say the panel that you guys were on with Troy and Brian Fanzo and yourself
Yeah.
was really powerful because you guys were getting like super real, super like vulnerable, deep kind of stuff, like basically saying like you've put yourself out there in such a way that you were joking around that you're like not being employable or something.
right,
I mean,
right.
it's super funny, but it's not funny. Like,
Right. Sorry, not sorry.
No,
True,
but-
very true.
But no, there's a lot of fear about going online and being on social media and making a mistake.
Right.
Or putting and twittering the wrong thing at the wrong moment. And
I think what we're learning coming out of 2018 and 2019 is just being real and vulnerable, not being fake vulnerable, not
Yeah.
like, just if all
We
you're
did-
sharing is your highs,
then it's hard for someone to relate to that. I thought the rebuttal was really great. So in this panel, I just said that I've shared so much of kind of my dark history in my life that I might not be employable now, where someone would say, they would judge me on who I was 25 years ago as opposed to look at me today. But I thought Brian Fanzo's rebuttal was great, where he's like, no, you just wouldn't be hired by the right company.
Yes.
And so for me, it's almost putting out kind of the resume. I think we all
some of the big companies get the biggest eyeballs in our world, that we think they're the ones employing a lot of people, but there's so many freaking companies doing a million things,
right?
And they're all made up of real humans that would look at anything you've ever done or been through, and they'd be like, that's a real freaking human, and we want him on our team.
Right. No. I think there is something for being real. I think you do need to. I know I like broke a curtain on getting really real and raw, and like I never like show my videos ahead of time to people.
Yeah.
But I did. I literally sent it out and said, you need to check it out. You need to watch this before I hit publish. I want to make sure this is cool to be this open and raw. And the feedback was great. So but you can get addicted to that.
Yeah.
I talked about that, where people get it because there's such an enormous amount of DMs or comments when it comes to that. Like, I can understand it. I went through this. Someone's going through it. That you can be like, oh my gosh, I got so many views on how depressed I am. Let me be more depressed tomorrow and see if I can go viral. So you want to be careful in anything that you're doing.
Yeah, especially if you are doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
I guess inside.
Yeah, I mean, if you're faking it for good or faking it for bad, it's still fake. Like, at some point, it's going to show up. So it doesn't matter.
That point of faking it for good.
Right.
It almost reminds me of this overly helpful society
right.
they're offering like, I can help you. It's like, at the end of the day, most people probably can't help you because if you don't trust them, how can they help you?
Right. No, I
you have
agree.
to build trust every single time first, even if you are this amazingly philanthropic, giving person.
Right.
It's like you have to still earn the right to help.
No,
So,
I agree.
Anyways,
it's a good point.
that was a random side note there.
Yeah, there you go. Is that like part of the podcast? Random
I
side
don't
notes?
know.
Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tell us where to find you.
Your radio voice is terrible.
What?
It's scaring me.
My radio voice is terrible.
Well, it's the one you do. My parents spelled my name Damian, Demian, which is really cool. So it's at Damian Ross everywhere. So
Okay.
check me out.
And you got to go to Starbucks.
Yeah, Starbucks coffee.
Okay, go. Bye. All right. Who are we talking to now?
All right, I'm Eric Fisher.
Hi, Eric Fisher.
Hi.
What are you up to?
All right.
I was just
Well-
explaining to Eric what my podcast is all
Yes.
about.
Yeah, and so what was the tagline again?
Level up your business with heart and humor.
Yeah, so heart and humor I think is great because as we heard here, we're at Social Media Week Lima.
If you haven't
Great
figured
event.
that out by now.
Yes, I'm
in
sure
the
there's
VIP room.
Yes, and this morning I already knew Angus Nelson
Mhm.
from before his talk, but he starts off talking about in the beginning, and is like people exchanging their carrot for this other person's cabbage back in the day,
yeah.
and like just the beginnings of commerce and interacting and exchanging, and then how we move from that into exchanging like currency and things like that. But if you look at it, like that's all business is people interchanging or interacting over the course of I give you this and you get this, and the value you provide, and how that's still, we forget, it's still, no matter how many people are involved in that process, it's still people.
Yep.
So
People to people, human to human.
yeah, so it was super exciting to hear you talk about that.
Yeah, and then I was telling him how I'm allergic to conversations that start to talk about metrics and numbers as if people aren't people. They're
Yeah,
always still
dehumanizing.
people.
You're allergic to dehumanizing.
Yes.
In other words, so
Yeah.
that's really good. I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that term you just made.
That's one of those things that you can go ahead and take that then.
All right.
Trademark
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, that I think I have kind of the same aversion or allergic
So what are you
reaction.
up to in this world?
Yeah. Well, so right now, for like 5 years plus now, I've been the social media manager at Social Media Examiner.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
So head of the
That's
social
awesome.
team, and that's super exciting. It's been a long journey of just discovering how to interact with our community. Like the whole mantra lately has been, with all the changes that have happened in terms of the social networks, specifically Facebook, and quote, fighting the algorithm. It's still all about meaningful social interactions. And as much as that sounds like buzzwords, it's engaging, it's interacting, and it's prioritizing that and coming up with, okay, what are we talking about? What is my community talking about, and how can I almost create a place for that to then be talked about? Create like Bella Vasta, she was talking about Facebook groups specifically, but like on our page, that's what we aim to do, is almost create a party or a conversation. So,
wow. Yes, I love the whole feeling and vibe of having a party.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was going through some training and there was PR advice, and I loved the advice this person gave, which was like, have a party with your feelings. And I was like, that's a fun concept.
That's great.
Like when you feel your nervous feelings before going on stage, like kind of just party with them. Like what would you do at a party? You would rock up to them and be like, what's up, anxiety?
At least acknowledge they're there. Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Dance it out.
That's great. I love it. I love it.
What's up, sadness?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the whole, and actually that's so that kind of goes into what Brian Kramer was talking about the other day, where he's just like, look, acknowledge where you are and where you want to go. And I was even talking to him afterwards about, if you think about it, acknowledging these feelings, having a party with your feelings and whatnot.
It sounds really funny, but it's so fun.
But it's true. But by digging into that stuff, that's where you, as a person, as a business owner, as an employee, whatever you want to put it, you start to dive into this endless well of not just content for the sake of content, like Brian was talking about, but meaningful content that's going to resonate with somebody else out there, because it's coming from a place inside you that you've wrestled with it. You've had those anxiety feelings. You've had that fear. You've had that hardship or whatever, and not just negative stuff, but good stuff too, like your quirkiness, your heart, like you're talking about on the show.
I was gonna say, so many of us along the way are probably told to tone down certain parts of our personality, because I think there's this long-standing feeling that the more neutral you make yourself, the more you won't accidentally not attract the wrong, or you won't turn away somebody or a client or a group, especially if you're trying to build a community.
Right.
That could probably feel very overwhelming to try to be attractive to everyone a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Right? Because even when you niche down, you still sometimes think, well, I don't want to say anything wrong or make people upset. And the more vanilla, neutral, whatever you are, the more nobody ends up wanting to be a strong party member.
And the thing is that
partying member is not like party member.
I like partying member better.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
even within, I mean, this is one of the things that I think maybe, and I've heard other people say this, so it's not an original thought, but I agree with it, that if we're trying to have conversation, if we're trying to do business, if we're trying to have community online, we can't just hunker down in our own safe spaces of like-minded people. We're going to come across people who have different opinions, but the problem there is that shouldn't be the end of the conversation. You know, like we can still have fun and interact with people that have different opinions than us and look at things differently, but we can still be human. We can still be, kind and approachable, and all the other, the golden rule and Mr. Rogers and all these other things. We can apply decent human approachability and common sense and kindness to our interactions with people. And that's something I think that we've maybe lost the ability to, partly because of the technology. I mean, when we're not face to face and we're doing it through, I mean, this is like scientifically proven. I've kind of looked at this a little bit.
All right, I'll take your word
not
for
of my
it.
own scientific research. I've read the articles.
Just take your word for
yes.
it.
But that it's why trolls can be catalyzed so much easier on the internet, because they forget there's someone on the other end of something, on the other end,
Well, do you think some people maybe don't even realize they have some trolling behaviors?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think there are.
I mean, I think we all do.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's just
that goes back to the saying that, well, it's probably from the Bible or something. I'm not trying to quote a Bible quote here, but that I can't delete that saying that is like, take the log out of your own eye before you try to pick a speck out of somebody else's.
Yeah.
That is resonating online to me because so many people want to see how you're doing something, how you're running a community, how you, and they might be a member. And then all of a sudden they're trying to like pick this tiny speck out. And you're like, okay, well, thank you for the not really needed feedback.
Yeah. In fact, I mean, I can even think of something that happened this morning that I got a review of something that came through, and I was like, oh my gosh. But no, I think that's exactly right. I mean, I think we all have it in us to be that way, that negative way.
Or we think we're helping.
Yes, we're air quotes, constructive criticism comes in.
And I think one thing I've learned myself recently by receiving other people's, or, you know, me even giving it, and realizing you have to earn the right to give criticism.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you do it one-on-one. Now, Amazon reviews, you can just give criticism.
Well, they want that. They want it. So I feel fine giving there. But, you know,
but
for
do you
the
know what
most
I'm
part,
talking about? In the DMs or in when you make a post online, it doesn't, you have to earn that right.
Right. Yeah.
I honestly think so.
Yeah,
Because how are people going to trust that feedback? Because it's coming from a person that maybe doesn't know your full strategy. Maybe doesn't know all the ins and outs of everything you've done behind the scenes. And so they're getting like a tiny glimpse.
Yeah.
And they're giving feedback on potentially a tiny glimpse.
Yeah. Well, and I think then, you know, it's a matter of time. It's you allow the relationship to, you wait till there's an actual relationship, not a surfacey one, but like more depth to it. And then even
and I've learned that myself. I'm putting that on myself.
Yeah.
I have been quick to think I'm, you know, knowledgeable in a space, and I want to give feedback because I see something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I see something. And
Right. No, that's where it's like, you know, so, and I've been there too. It's like, you want to hold off and say, okay, if they ask for it, sure, I'll be right there to give it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm going to hold that back. And maybe in the future, if I judge that the relationship is in a point where I could say something, maybe I will. But even then, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
It's about circumstance. So
yeah, I've learned. So what is it like running that community?
Yeah.
And all the things you have going on. What do you want to share about
it's
it?
exciting. I mean, here's the thing. One of the greatest things is just having the ability to tap into the pain points of what the modern marketer is dealing with. I mean, I can list off.
How do you tap into pain points without them feeling like they just shared their pain and nothing happened after that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
well, because partly everybody wants to vent a little bit too.
Good.
So, you know, like I can post. So, for example, I can post something like, if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing about Facebook right now, what would it be?
Oh, that's
and like
a good example.
Floods of comments.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Like,
thank you. You're giving me perfect. That's
there you
good.
go.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I was like, vent today at 12:45.
No. It's like you post.
That would be funny,
you post you post the catalyzing like question.
I know, but wouldn't that be funny?
That like yes, it would. That's I'm allergic to that too. No, but posting that instance that if you were scrolling through your Facebook feed and you saw that question, you'd be like, "Oh, I hate it when," and you just can't help but jump in and start commenting.
Maybe.
And then maybe, but the great thing is that you start to learn all these
you're right. I
pain
am
points.
kind of thinking about what I don't like about Facebook.
Yeah, right? Whether it's ads manager or business manager or the inability to tag at times or all these other things that are missing. Like, and
what's up with that? What's up with tag? Okay, so is it okay? I've never found out if anyone else has this problem.
Okay.
On Facebook.
Share away.
I'm trying to make a post.
Yep.
And I tag a bunch of people or a company or a page, or I do all the things, right? And I think the post is almost done, but I scroll back up to check, and then I do one minor change, and I lose all the tags that I had already made.
Right. Yeah.
Does that happen all the time?
It happens all the time for everybody.
That's so
And
annoying.
that's not necessarily
Okay,
the
I
way
would
it's
put
supposed
that
to
in
be.
there. Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. But see, me being so now
I had
I'm
no idea that I just thought maybe.
so say I posted say I posted that question and you responded with that. You're going to then hear from other people,
That you're not
I
the
hate
only
when that
one.
happens, and you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And then I get to see, as the quote brand or business or whatever, that a lot of people have that issue, and now
Yeah.
I'm aware of it.
It's a super annoying
So
issue.
again, I could then jump into, well, hey, wait a second. When that happens, I've got a fix for that. Try this.
What is the fix?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I wish I
Oh,
did. I wish I had
damn
one.
it.
Sorry. No, but there used to be fixes for when tagging wasn't working, but those have all kind of gone away. But anyway,
That's funny.
But you can see, like, having your hand on the pulse of your community in that way, like throwing something out, seeing what works, and then diving into the comments and interacting with all the engagement of not only the people that are replying to you, but then replying to each other. It's like, and I'm talking specifically like on a page, but this could work in a group. This could work. I mean, what we then do is take that. If something works on Facebook, we then take it and post it on Twitter and LinkedIn and so on. And these aren't link posts, so they're getting great reach. So, yeah.
That's great. That's awesome example. So, what else? Anything else?
Oh,
Anything else
gosh.
you're up to that you want to share?
There's
and then
a-
we can wrap up.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. There's just, you know what?
What are
It's
you
been
most excited about?
most
coming up?
excited about. That's interesting. Well, I mean, Facebook just came out with like a cryptocurrency, and I'm not excited about that. I'm just kind of like, it's been very quiet in terms of like the social networks in actually innovating recently. You know, as far as I can see, news used to be, you know, week after week we'd have something new from somebody, and we'd be able to talk about it. That's been, you know, kind of dwindling
interesting to
down a
hear.
little bit, but I don't know. I think for the most part, I'm interested in seeing where things go in terms of if the platforms settle it down a little bit, who's still left standing.
Ooh.
You know?
Like people
And
companies?
platforms.
Yeah, that's
You know?
interesting.
So
Yeah. Well, any platform other than Facebook you spend a lot of time on?
I personally like Twitter. I think that's my favorite. To be
Nice.
honest,
What do you like
I think
about
it's- I think that it's just well, first off, it's not where my extended family is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it's like I can post on Twitter and they're not going to be all like, why'd you post this thing about this other thing? You know, I'm like, no, I don't care. Like, I don't, and it's not that I'm not careful about what I post.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just that, like,
We
if I post something
originally
on
had
Facebook-
connected on Facebook with friends and family.
Right,
and
exactly.
I was posting kid pictures.
And
I was posting
now, I mean,
Yeah.
a marketer posting something about some project they're working on, and then their mom, my mom, will post and say, "Oh, you know, okay, I'll throw my mom under the bus just for an example. She'll
good.
like post weird questions, and I'm like embarrassed for her, but me too, but like a little bit embarrassed for myself. I'm like, oh no, people know that's my mom,
And
and
you
she's
can't
being
block your
weird,
mom.
and I can't block my mom. I can hide my mom. I don't unfriend my mom, but I unfollow my mom.
You can restrict your mom.
Yes, I can. So, but that's kind of the stickiness of like how Facebook is supposed to be that way. Well, Twitter, I can be over here and do whatever.
Yeah.
And she's not on Instagram either. So the two of those are kind of my favorites.
Yeah. Well,
Because I can interact with fun people.
And I feel similar about LinkedIn. So
Yeah. And I've been
Yeah.
trying to get back into that a little bit more. So
We'll do it.
I will. I'll have to get tips from you on that.
Yes. All right. Anywhere we can go to join or find out more about the community you're running with Social Media Examiner?
Yeah, just head on over
Social Media
to
Examiner.
.com. Yeah, perfect.
Nice.
There you go.
I said it.
Yeah.
And where can we find you? If we wanna
Personally,
find you on
yeah,
Twitter?
if you want to hang out with me, I'm on twitter.com/Eric with a K, the letter J, FISHER.
Okay. And where can we find your mom on Facebook? I'm just kidding.
No. Wow, well done. Well done.
There's the humor. Thank you
Wow.
very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. That was kind of funny. All right, you totally rock for listening this far. And what I want you guys to do is stick around for the one and only Jen Cole, number one, and number two. Let's give some social media buzz online for how awesome these speakers were at Social Media Week, Lima, Ohio, how incredible the attendees, the sponsors, the entire event, and everyone running the event now marketing group with Jessica Phillips. All of that deserves all the social media buzz online. So if you enjoyed this podcast, please shout it out. Please spread the word.
please tag me. And so I can share the word. So it's tag me on Instagram at JUDIW and let's just get some buzz going. So I was told that I need to now get Jen. So aggressively, I am getting her. You are more than welcome to stay in the comfy chair over there or come join me in the hot pink chair. Hot pink. All right. We have got Jen in the hot pink seat.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So introduce yourself to let everyone know who we are hearing from right now.
Hi, I am Jen Cole. Jen Cole ICT on Twitter and Instagram, and I am the community manager for Social Media Examiner and co-founder of Depict Media.
That is so exciting!
Yay! I'm pretty excited about it.
So tell me, what are some of the things you've been up to? Or because I know that Jen Weather, because she was just on the podcast, was talking about you, Depict Media, and she was loving on your Friday show.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, that's awesome. I feel like I'm hearing about Depict Media. Now I'm like Googling, okay, I got to get what's going on. What am I missing out on? That's the party, right?
Yeah,
the FOMO.
The FOMO, yes. Yeah, we like to try to create FOMO. Well, we at Depict Media, we do a lot of events. So social media management for events. We just finished up doing a 9-day Facebook Live takeover for Kansas's largest outdoor festival called Riverfest.
Oh my God, that sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Do you get to go down there?
Oh yeah, we were down there going
wow.
live about 3 to 4 times a day for the entire 9 days.
Oh my gosh.
And then we also
how do I do that?
It was really funny because we spoke at an event a couple of years ago, and the lady that is in charge of sponsorships for Riverfest happened to attend our talk, but she also happened to used to go to my Zumba classes. And so I just approached her and I said, it'd be really, really cool if Riverfest had Facebook Live coverage, and we would love to do that for you. And so last year they brought us on as a sponsor, and they loved it so much that this year they brought us back as a sponsor again, but they also paid us. It's pretty amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they said it's done a lot of great things for their PR, so it's been cool to see that.
Yeah, well, and it's good to hear that journey because so many people are trying to break into doing certain things. And I even just 5 seconds ago said, oh, how do you get that? There's your answer. It's relationship building over long periods of time.
Absolutely. Relationships are so important. And that, here at Social Media Week Lima, we have been learning a lot about relationship marketing from the queen herself, Jessica. She's amazing.
Wait, I thought for a second, I was like, where is she?
No, that'd be amazing.
It is incredible because I've learned this from being in my own local community and getting active there, that you have to keep showing up. You have to keep showing up. It's like, it sounds funny and we forget, but it's not doing it once or going once and then all of a sudden you get all the deals and all the things and all the you have to keep showing up.
You got to show up. We are social media marketers and we talk about our digital presence all the time, but you're exactly right. When it comes to these in real life events, you got to show up to those too, because this is where we close the gap and build the relationships with each other in real life. It is so much more powerful.
And this is us building a relationship right now.
Oh my gosh, I know. The last time I saw you was in Denver. Is that right?
No.
Was it in San Diego?
San Diego.
It was in San Diego. That was in San Diego. Yeah. That's where it was.
Yeah,
we were at Social Media Marketing World.
Yes. And that was my first time there.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that I wore my fox ears and my LinkedIn hat.
Yes.
Because I maybe didn't understand how big that event is and how kind of overwhelming it can be.
It can be, yeah.
But having that hat and ears and something to stand out.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that was perfect.
Now everyone's going to remember you for that.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what other things are you working on for that world? Because I know you could tell me more about either world, whichever world. Which world do you want more of is what I tell people.
I love both worlds so much. I love Social Media Examiner so much. It's the best company I've ever worked for in my entire life.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
I love love Social Media Examiner.
What do you
and
love about it so much?
I love that they put a lot of trust in me. They just let me drive the Twitter account, which is so much fun. Like they let me produce their Twitter chat, SME chat, which we just came off of about 10 minutes ago.
Cool.
And I love answering all the tweets and sometimes jumping into the Facebook comments and just hanging out with our online community. We have a great online community, but when we take it to social media marketing world and we all get to meet in person, kind of like what we're doing here in Lima this week, it's just amazing. It's something else.
Yeah, this event is something else compared to going to social media marketing world.
Yes.
I don't know. I just feel like I just feel like I can connect so much more because I'm like just right here. And then you see the same people 5 seconds later because the conference is not like humongous.
There's been a lot of bonding time here this week.
And I was going to say there were people at Social Media Marketing World that I wanted to see that I literally never crossed paths with.
I was just saying that very sentence to somebody else this morning.
And
it's
I wanted to
big.
see them.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did I miss you? We were at the same conference. I see your pictures on Instagram. We were like probably 2 people away at the 80s party or something.
Right?
But how did I not see you?
It's becoming more and more of a common thing as that conference grows and grows every year.
Yeah. So how do you guys deal with that? Just keep going.
We do keep going. We try to help people facilitate meetups.
Yes.
And we definitely try to encourage pre-event networking for sure. We have Facebook groups. And we used to use Slack.
Hoova app.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we had a little bit of a joke.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm sharing this. I'm a little nervous to share this.
Don't be nervous.
But we were taking screenshots and sharing how big we were growing our unread messages.
Oh, I know. I was
that's funny. No, it was like as if it was like we were gonna do like a little YouTube video tutorial for how to grow your Hoova social media marketing world. If you need me to make a video about that, I've got the screenshots and it's hilarious. It's the spoof. It's hilarious.
Everyone loves that kind of content. You know, it's just funny, and you have to be lighthearted, and you have to have a sense of humor. Luckily, our brand culture definitely has a sense of humor.
Well, it was a little bit like, well, what are you doing to grow your unread messages on Hoova? Well, I'm really making sure to not open the app like once a day. I mean, it was terrible advice. It's terrible advice.
Never check
You're
it.
Kill me. Social media examiners
No way.
Kill me.
No, we're not. We love you.
No,
we love you,
no,
Fox.
no.
You're so
Thank
foxy.
you. Thank you. No, but it was, I mean, it's hard to keep up. But what was really awesome is I was able to search on the app. I will give it its props.
Yeah.
Because I was able to search on the app. Sure. I was able to find the conversations I wanted to find.
Yeah.
And I did
easy to use
love that. And that reduced my unread messages count.
Yes.
Because I was opening up all the LinkedIn ones and I was like, they're asking a question about LinkedIn. I'm going to answer it.
Oh, that's awesome. Way to dig into your niche. That is amazing. That's what it's supposed to be all about. So then.
And it was maybe about having 10 of those conversations that turned into relationships that actually I'm seeing people here.
Yeah.
And that is what it's about. I don't even think I would be here if I didn't niche down and say, okay, I'm going to the s'mores event that Jessica had.
Uh-huh.
And you get a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah.
And I believe that you have to reach into your gut.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's certain gut things that tell you along the way, like markers.
Well, and that's where you find your passion. When you start really, really focusing on something that you're very passionate about, you're naturally going to grow because you want to grow. And so I think niching down is a very powerful thing to do. I mean, a lot of us around here do that. My niche is definitely building communities online.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
And you said you love being on Twitter. Do you have other places?
I love Twitter.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Twitter's
I'm
great.
I have to rediscover my love of Twitter.
I've heard that a lot in the last few months.
I feel like some people tell me they have to rediscover I love LinkedIn. And they're like, why the heck do you love LinkedIn?
Let me tell you why.
No, so
that's what I'm here for.
So you tell me why you love Twitter. Tell me. Give me all the love. I want to feel it.
The reason why I love Twitter so much is because it shrinks the world. The world is a very, very big place. But when we do, our Twitter chats like SME chat that we just got off of, we are literally talking in real time to people around the world over one specific subject. And it's
what was the
really
subject
cool.
today?
Today we were talking about sponsored ad content on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So It was a lot of fun. It was a really interesting conversation. And the cool thing about these Twitter chats is, even though I'm facilitating the dang thing, I learn so much from listening.
Is it in a private group or
no, it's
is
not
it
private. All you have to do is jump on, utilize the hashtag.
I want to be
and
in
jump
on the
it.
next one. When's the next one?
Okay, it's every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time.
Okay, I can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. It'd be so much fun. I'd love to see you there.
Be there. My fox ears on.
Yeah.
You
Yes,
can't
please.
see my
take
fox
a selfie.
ears. Oh, I
yeah,
can?
I take a selfie every chat. We take a group selfie. You were in it.
I know. I just
Yeah,
popped my head in, and I wasn't even in the Twitter chat.
It's okay because now we're talking about it.
Okay, good. See, it's full circle.
Yes.
All right. I want to check the time because we do not want to miss table talks. If you want to check
No,
some of those out,
absolutely.
So.
Yes.
And anything you want to shout out about this conference or about Jessica and how amazing she is, which we already said, but we could go on and on.
This, Jessica is one of the kindest, most genuine people I've ever met in my entire life. And this conference is a testament to how wonderfully she is able to build true community and strong, intimate relationships. I think it's amazing. What she does is monumental.
And I'm blown away by not only the gifts that she is giving to people with the bobbleheads and the caricatures and all the personalized gifts.
Oh my gosh.
Really personalized.
She went over the moon. It's amazing what she's done.
My jaw is dropping.
I know. She's put a lot into it. You can tell she's passionate about it.
All right. So where can we find you?
You
What's
can find
your favorite?
me.
We can find you on Twitter.
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter and you can find me on Instagram. It's the same handle. It's at JenColeICT.
Got it. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo, woo.
What does the fox say?
Ding 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 ding.